One. That's how you fuck it up.
I know. Just put that in.
It is. It's going in. Hello and welcome to Slice of Pie, the weekly news-ish show that we try to do every week. This week, what have we done? We've accomplished absolutely nothing, actually, I think. To be completely honest. Actually, no. You'll notice that the lighting isn't as heavy. That's because we've positioned the lights a little bit more appropriately, but we still have two more fixtures that are going to illuminate the background. And then I have another light coming, which is another one of those like nice floodlights, and then a couple tripods so that we can actually set them up. So yes, we have a crap ton of lighting on the way. Drawing tablet set up now, so we can actually start working on art for the channel. We can update from our 2015 art style that hasn't been changed since. And we also have a mini series of just random crap that we're doing around the house. The first episode is our roommate Patrick graciously going through the space squid of a cord box that I had. Yeah, that video. That's gonna be a thing. Also, I think the week after we're gonna do setting up like 600 consoles on one TV. Just pull the knife out. Hey. That's not a knife. This is a knife. All right, so I guess with that, we're gonna move into the game news because although E3 is like next Monday, somehow we're getting announcements. So let's just jump into it. All right. Game news. Yooka-Laylee is getting a sequel, and it was announced today, of all dates. The sequel is actually a Donkey Kong Country-style 2D platformer, which is a pretty big departure from the Banjo & Kazooie style 3D platformer that it was before. That being said, these were Rare employees, so it makes perfect sense that they would be working on games that they are most comfortable with. I just didn't expect them to go from 3D platformer to 2D platformer exactly beat for beat as they did in the past. Monster Hunter World is actually getting a significant chunk of DLC. It's going to be adding the new ice biome, new ice camp, and tons of new monsters to fight. It does seem that the mechanics are going to be changing up quite a bit since Monster Hunter World did actually drop the drink system, and they may have to bring it back for these new biomes. Destiny 2 is now completely free to play. I picked it up when it was free to play on the Blizzard app, but now it's coming to Steam. It's going to be completely free to play since Activision and Bungie split ways not too long ago, and they actually got to keep the Destiny franchise, which is highly unusual in the games industry. And one more bit of game news that I totally did not forget about while completely recording everything. Pokemon Sword and Shield. We finally got the gameplay release, and oh my god. It's open world-ish. Like, Pokemon are appearing in the field. There's multiplayer, like raids, gym battles. It's like everything we wanted from the last generation of Pokemon games and didn't get.
It's like No Man's Sky meets Pokemon.
That's wrong.
Now with less disappointment.
I like that. Also, the internet's been going absolutely crazy for this Pokemon, Wooloo? The sheep Pokemon. Granted, this is the second sheep Pokemon we've got, but it is rather weird to see the sheer amount of memes that have come out about this one Pokemon, much like how the Scottish Pokemon trainer was just a thing too. So, have you seen those memes? Oh god. Remind me to show them to you later. They're great.
Yeah.
So, yes, Sword and Shield's coming out. Oh yeah, we saw the legendary Pokemon. I do want to kind of add this in. They're two dogs, one with a shield face and one that carries a sword. The queen has two dogs, corgis. If you look at the legendary Pokemon, you just picture the miniature. Kind of look like corgis. Coincidence? I think not. I think the legendary Pokemon are the Queen's dogs. Brilliant design, Game Freak. Brilliant. And Google Stadia has finally had the lid blown off. Google did their whole thing, and it looks like it's for no one, actually. See, in order to have Google Stadia, you can either pay a monthly subscription for 4K streams at 60 frames per second or 1080p streams at 60 frames per second, which are free, and then you have to buy the games. So you're not really getting anything out of the subscription except for higher bandwidth, but you're still having to pay for more internet in order to actually use that bandwidth. And although Google is saying that you can use 60 megabits to actually play it, it seems a little low for 4K streaming and direct input. Now, supposedly there is only a 40 millisecond lag, but that's rather high, especially when it comes to high-end gaming and when it comes to precision input gaming. So fighting games will probably be pretty difficult on the Google Stadia, and first-person shooters, I think, would be pretty difficult on the Google Stadia. And with that, we're gonna wrap up that segment and go into the tech news. Tech news. AMD has actually made the most powerful GPU in the world, but it's not for gaming, and you can't buy it. It is only in the new Mac Pro, because it requires two PCIe connectors, one in front and one behind, which is proprietary to Mac's new motherboard, and it has two GPUs in it, which technically does make it the fastest single card out there. But as we know from the past, dual GPU solutions on Windows and gaming don't exactly work out very well. These cards are touted as the fastest, but eventually get overtaken by single GPU solutions that are capable of actually utilizing all of their power towards gaming, as developers have to actually add in functionality for dual GPUs. That being said, this could eventually make its way into an actual gaming solution, but AMD would have to do some serious wizardry to actually make the dual GPU solution appear as a single card, especially if we're going to get widespread support. NVIDIA's Super may have been slightly leaked on what it is. In fact, we've actually been hearing about it since before NVIDIA even teased the whole Super tag to begin with. They've been talking about increasing the RAM clocks, but now there's a bit of discussion about them actually increasing the CUDA core count on the 2060, 2070, and 2080 and calling them the Super RTX variant. That is a departure from the TI line, but since they already have the TI line out, it makes perfect sense that they're going to have to come up with something new. That being said, this does seem to be a knee-jerk reaction to AMD releasing the Navi GPUs with a slight improvement over the 2070 and at a much lower price. That being said, it also appears that NVIDIA is going to also discount the current RTX cards to match the price of Navi. All right, and with that, we're gonna wrap up. This was a quick episode of Slice of Pie, but we've got a lot of work to do. We got things to hang and boxes to unpack and a USB dongle being thrown in the air at... man, this video... Yeah, you went like way off.
Yeah, I noticed.
So thank you guys for watching. Wolfie out.